Hello and welcome to the Swine Brothers Show, episode 88 for June 10th, 2016. It's the Nancy episode. You can email the show at ellinthemood@gmail.com if you wish. Facebook is obviously Swine Brothers. And Twitter is SwineBro666, and other links are available. I am your host, Elliot Lindemood. My usual co-host people are...
I am the Jim. I can fart.
And I'm Chaswold Almighty, and I'm here under duress. Send help.
not as much duress as I was under when I joined your hangout. You were talking about Star Wars for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that was a great conversation.
I was literally just sitting there going, ah. Yeah. And then you guys started talking about something interesting that I could actually contribute to. It didn't actually contribute. It was just, Yes, anyone watched, what was it, Two Brits Chat the Shit, you would have heard my dulcet tones.
Yeah, some prick decided to come into my hangout, half invited, when it was an open forum, and just not contribute to the conversation. Then moan about it to me.
Through Facebook.
You're talking about Star Wars. Yeah, you talk about metal and you don't hear me bitch cunt off every time you do. I generally just snooze.
Well, yeah, but you have to understand it was 7:30 at night in the morning, and you were keeping me awake. So anyway, that was actually very fun, and I got some cool YouTube links out of it. Anyway, so
just cognitive thought, by the way, wasn't it?
Yes, cognitive thought, and the Canadian guy.
Can't think who that was now.
I don't remember, but I subscribed to him. But yeah, cognitive is actually pretty cool.
He's a really good YouTuber. It's like he had one of his first video. It was like a song, and it used Thunderfoot's videos. His little tune. It had sampled that. And Thunderfoot tweeted it out. That's how I came to discover cognitive thought, and just been watching his videos since then. They're really, really good. I'm surprised he doesn't have way more subscribers, or the quality of them.
Well, he has 500 now. Anyway, Jim, you've been doing your story research. Digging through the. I also like to say before we start, the new DRI EP came out today. It's basically a couple cover songs and a couple re-recorded, or not covers, re-recorded songs, and a couple re-recorded songs of like rare and hard to find tracks, and then a couple classic covers. It's actually really good. It's only been 21 years since they recorded last. And I suspect we'll have to wait another 21 more years till the album comes out. But anyway, on to the show, I suppose.
Oh, now come on, don't start that shit.
Oh no, not the show.
We've got to wolf it first, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got to basically.
So here's the first article.
No, we just got to chat amongst ourselves for 8 minutes.
Yay, chat amongst ourselves for 8 more minutes.
I haven't been back on Wolf King since the show, but I still get emails.
Anyways, on to the horror. The chilling effect of fear at America's colleges.
Yeah, fear the colleges.
The coddling of students' minds has resulted in grave restrictions of free speech on campus, but academic leaders are also to blame.
Yes, they are.
No great universities exist in the world without a deep institutional commitment to academic freedom, free inquiry, and free expression. For the past 60 years, American research universities have been vigilant against external and internal attempts to limit or destroy these values. The First Amendment, scholar Jeffrey Stone has noted that free expression in one form or another has been continually under attack on campuses for the past 100 years. Today, these core university values are being questioned again, but from a new source, the students who are being educated at them.
See, I always thought when you were in school, you were a student and you knew nothing. Now it's the students who are actually running the place.
What was it, a couple shows ago, we were talking about like how mommy and daddy paying for everything gives you an auto A.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What explains this recent outcry against free speech free expression on campus? Multiple possible explanations exist, of course, including the hypothesis that parents have coddled a generation of youngsters to the point where students feel that they should not be exposed to anything harmful to their psyches or beliefs.
Which is not true. You should be exposed to things harmful to your psyches and beliefs every single day. In fact, I rejoined the Unpopular Metal Opinions group just to torture myself.
Mm-hmm.
I left it for a couple hours, and then because of basically clogging up my news feed, and that was all I was seeing, and I was like, no, I've got to rejoin it. So I routinely go there just to remember what hate is.
Yeah, that's the group where they think it's an unpopular opinion to say this band sucks when it's the most popular opinion any metalhead has.
Yes, and I realize it's a very popular opinion, but I made an anti-Pantera post just because you know why I made an anti-Pantera post.
Yeah, I know.
Why did I make an anti-Pantera post, Jim?
Because someone left a piece of paper on a tombstone and it pissed off the nation.
Because I just wanted to bait some Pantera fans. No, it was, but in all seriousness, I go there to read people's opinions and realize that I hate them. And, of course, people will call me an edgelord because of this.
I call you a shedlord.
I'll call you shut the fuck up, Chaz.
I'd like to see you try.
I just did. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, but I can see you try. You can't see me try.
Moving on. No, you can't actually see me try at this point. Because,
I can do, in my mind.
Bam. Moving on.
Whether or not these psychological narratives are valid, additional cultural, institutional, and societal explanations for what are going on, there are additional things.
Yes. Well, I think a lot of it is people being coddled and people complain about the baby boomers. People complain about the baby boomers, how bad that was. And it's just like, dude, compared to the baby boomers, we're fucking, compared to us, the baby boomers are, the lost generation.
Oh, fuck, man.
I mean, a lot of people say this stuff is just, it's about coddling, and it's about, we're making our children weak, we're raising them to be weak. And I don't think that's really all of it. I think a large amount of it is in this day and age, with social media, and before that reality television, and before that talk show television, like your Jeremy Kyle and your Jerry Springer, that human beings have been more and more rewarded for narcissistic behavior. And when you start rewarding people's narcissistic behaviors, you tend to make them very ego-driven and narcissistic in their behavior. And I think a lot of this identity politics, which is what is at the root to a lot of this, is the reason why we're seeing such a huge explosion of this, and especially with the ability of things like social media to communicate more effectively, much quicker to a larger audience. The idiocy gets spread so much quickly. It's like a super virus now, thanks to the internet. And I think this sort of Twitter sort of stuff, it's like you could walk down the street and you could put your 2p in the blind guy's cup who was begging on the corner, and you could walk away feeling, I've done a good deed. Nowadays, you don't even have to do that. You just have to go on your phone and tweet hashtag yes all women, or just do a lot of virtue signaling.
Hashtag help the blind. And that really sucks for me because I go out begging for drug and beer money.
Exactly.
And I can't get my fucking fix.
I think that's what's at the root of a lot of these, and I think the other thing is that we've seen such a push to get everybody going to college, yeah, which does have its advantages, but unfortunately we've not implemented this with any sort of real control, and so what we've seen is we've got a lot of people who at the end of school life, they don't know what they want to do with themselves, but they know they have to go to college, that's about it, yeah?
Yep.
And so they're picking subjects which are utterly useless. We're seeing such a high degree of humanities pickups. Your media studies, your gender studies, communications, sociology, these sorts of subjects, which are infested with a very liberal faculty, and often quite far left faculty, are politically poisoning the students in their classes, and so we see big campuses of these people whose courses don't really give them much to actually worry about, so they go around worrying everybody else with their time.
See, I like something. What was that, Jim?
I was gonna say, going back to the point of virtue signaling, I saw a fucking piece of shit today. They have these memes going around which are like what to do and what not to do with baby. They usually have like, okay, this is how you hold a baby. And then they have some like ridiculous fucking completely like you're going to kill the kid if you do this. Meant to fucking
holding it upside down, yeah.
Yeah. Shaking the fuck out of it or whatever.
Yeah, just to fucking have some fun here. Well, one of the memes was, finding a sitter, and one was like this, well-dressed, prim and proper girl saying, dude, then it said, don't. And there was a homeless guy saying, we'll sit for food. And there are like, literally like 1,800 people just sitting there fucking saying, you shouldn't judge, blah, 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 blah. To which I say, for those of them who were in my local area and have had kids back in the mid-2000s, question, why didn't you hire me for babysitting when I was homeless?
Yeah,
if you're so virtuous that you would have done that to help out a homeless person, why wasn't I hired when I was fucking homeless? Because that would have helped my situation out.
Do you know what else we do in this culture, actually? It follows on from what you were saying, is we do this kind of, along with this virtue signaling, we celebrate, kind of like the most mundane things, get highly celebrated. And so, along with this sort of like, well, I spoke out for something, or I gave some sort of platitude, or, I said something that I thought was deep and profound, which is really just hollow,
which is all
and
you
bollocks.
ever say.
It like one of these things. You generally see it like when someone's broken up with their girlfriend, and they're like, "Oh, my, never keep around the people who don't want to keep you around," sort of things.
Yes, and then I get shat on for basically telling them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they start sharing spirit science, where all it is just empty sort of like thoughts that sound good on paper but really have no way of translating into the real world. And it's like, For instance, yeah, I'm sure the homeless guy will sit for food. Could be a great babysitter, but one thing we have to remember is that people in homeless situations, a lot of them are just very nice people who have caught themselves down the luck. Some homeless people are drug addicts with mental problems.
I'd say it's closer to 2/3 based upon my own personal experience. 2/3 with the drug problems and shit.
I'd like to bring up, because Chad was talking about mental signal. Does anyone remember Coney 2012?
Oh yeah,
That was
the virtual
beautiful.
signaling to end all virtual signaling. I like the way that's like the guy was like, oh yeah, we got to stop Coney, yeah, from
That nobody
operating
actually
in
knew
Uganda.
about.
Coney operating in Uganda, and he hadn't operated in Uganda for the last sort of 6 years.
Yes, or does anyone remember when they kidnapped the Nigerian or whatever the fuck African country? They're all the same. Girls. And there was the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls. And
Yeah.
that was supposed to save the world. Or I saw one, end world hunger. Or that's just supposed to, what, some like violent Muslim extremist is supposed to see, is going to see
Oh, it
Bring
was like
Back Our
I
Girls.
said this when it was remember when everybody was doing like the flag, the French flag over their thing for the Paris attack.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I put a thing up on Facebook at that time, and I was like saying, because I find it funny that people are putting flags up here, but haven't put up Afghani flags, Syrian flags.
They're not people, though.
Haven't put up flags for places like Mali or Somalia. All the people who are dealing with things like Boko Haram and what's that one? Isn't it like Shaba al-Wadi or something like that? It's another one. I think.
It's because they're not people.
Well, no, it's because these people don't actually inform themselves. The news isn't really informing them.
Yes, I remember the Charlie whatever was attacks, and somebody kept talking about how, well, you care more about that than you care about the 2,000 villagers massacred in Uganda. And I was like, well, yeah, because it's fucking Africa. Who cares?
Well, no, I mean, this is the point. I did say this, that with this thing, people are going to be into the French thing if they're white, because it's more relatable, especially if you're from, like, say, Britain. France is quite close.
Well,
yeah?
But
and the news isn't telling people in general about the 2,000 in Uganda or the 20,000 in Mali or all of the others because they're not relatable. They're distant countries. They're other people. It's like if there's 2 plane crashes, there could be a plane crash full of Chinese people that lands in, say, Eastern Europe, and there could be a plane crash in America that has 2 British people on it. The news in Britain is going to focus on the one in America more than the one in Eastern Europe.
Well,
because of the 2 British passengers.
My point wasn't even about that. My point was basically about how
you don't like Africans, we heard.
People think they're going to change the world by doing hashtags, and it's like, I think that's a big problem. Anyway, moving on, because we're going to be here forever.
Just saying one last point here. The whole entire, hashtag bring the girls home. How's that hashtag going to really do anything when the only viable option to do said action is military?
This is what these people don't... The whole point, is you can sit there on Twitter and go, I've noticed there's some things wrong with the society, and then give yourself a pat on the back and walk away. Offer no real solutions to said problems, no real sort of identification of the source of these problems, and how your solution is going to ratify that. There is none of that. It's all just like, I don't like this poster because, it's got a skinny woman on it and it says be beach ready. Or I don't like the fact that on average women earn less than men. So I want my company to pay me extra money, pay me more for the same work just because I have a vagina.
Yeah. Anyway.
Actually, honestly, that whole fucking pay gap thing detracts from like realities of shit, where you could see where there are problems depending upon which company you're talking about versus, realities where things are pretty much equal. It's just who's putting in more hours.
Who's putting in more hours? The types of industries being involved, things like that. Like when you actually control for everything, the pay gap shrinks to next to nothing, and a large amount of the pay gap, because what people don't understand, it's about lifetime earnings. It's not actually about yearly or weekly or monthly earnings, and the reason why this little bit is left is solely because women lose out halfway through their lives. If you actually look at the age, there is one pay gap graph, and it's in one of my videos. It actually shows different age ranges, and you notice that the difference comes in around about the 25s, when women are more likely to have children. It's at the children years of women that they seem to get this gap the most, and then when you actually get back up to the 60s, there's no gap again. In fact, it's actually starts switching in favour of women, just like the gap is actually slightly in favour of women at the 18 to 25 bracket.
Basically, women, blame your children. That's why you don't get paid enough. In fact, go ahead and kill some of them for me.
Well, yeah, it's just that women tend to, they have a kid, and women tend to want to be the primary carer. Women tend to want to work part-time. Women tend to obviously take 6 months to a year out of their job, and that puts them 6 months to a year behind a
I just
man
want to
who
stop.
does.
It's hilarious. Doing a cigarette with your teeth. It sounds like you're pissed off. But women tend to. It's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah,
Anyways.
I'm holding well, not with my teeth. I'm holding my cigarette
And
in my.
just from personal experience here, there was a little bit of a shit thing going on with my mom and her current job, where her trying to get fucking in was a fucking bitch because they wanted men for the job. This was something that really happened, but once she fucking fought her way in and actually got onto the job, now years later, she's $4 from top wage, and she's making more than anyone else can possibly make without knowing how to run a fucking forklift.
So is it factory work?
It's warehousing.
So yeah, I mean,
But
obviously.
you see, she first had to, it was a bitch for her to get in because they wanted men, because big, strong, fucking move this shit. But once she got in and she proved herself, they're fucking kissing. The one boss is kissing her ass left and right. She's making more than she should, because she should know how to use a tow motor and shit. She doesn't have that certification. She just works on the line. But, because she shows up and does her thing and does all the overtime, they gave her more than, she was supposed to have.
Yeah.
You see, the thing is, right, it's like what people don't understand. If you really want to talk about sort of sexism in the workplace, yeah, you'd be talking about, like, if your job involves lifting or warehousing and you've got two applicants, one £100 girl and one sort of like £200-300 man, you're going to go with the men. Odds are higher upper body strength, greater ability to have stamina
Of course,
on weight.
it could be a 200-300 pound guy like me.
Or you
big
could
fat.
have a if you had a 200-300 pound woman and you still hired the 100-pound man because he was a man, then you've got a case of sexism. But I mean, it's like they'll call anything where the woman doesn't win sexism, and that's kind of the problem with feminism, especially in today's age.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the only drawback to if you can do 300-pound man is you could get me. I'm a big fat slob.
Yay.
I'm definitely no fucking weightlifter.
I think we've killed this tangent.
Yes, I think we did a long time ago.
Yeah. Now, the overreaching theme today is that today's youngsters, beginning in preschool, are responding to living in a contrived culture of fear and distrust.
Yeah, fear and distrust. I learned to trust no one when I was young, but that didn't make me anything other than more into me. Not into, but more into doing my own thing.
For some reason, I just remembered the fucking books they gave out saying about the good touch, bad touch. And I remember reading the part where it's like, and then your female neighbor like decided to show you her private parts. I was like, damn, I wish that would have happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually, no, my female neighbors are fucking old.
Yeah, but the one in the book was drawn to be hot.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, it's just I was never. I mean, like I said, I grew up being patronized and talked down to, and rather than um, you know getting into that and becoming a self-serving, ego worshiping, I just decided to go the complete other way.
Yeah.
And then I found metal.
Okay. So, there's hardly a consensus among students on the forms or appropriateness of these restrictions on speech. Today, nearly half of a random sample of roughly 3,000 college students surveyed by Gallup earlier this year are supportive of restrictions on certain forms of free speech on campus, and 69% support disciplinary action against either students or faculty members who use intentionally offensive language or commit microaggressions.
Oh God, microaggressions, our favorite. Our
Mhm.
favorite
They're
microaggressions.
great, they are.
And see, I'm in favor I mean, obviously freedom of speech. There's always limits, but I'm in favor of open. If some guy's a Nazi, you don't shut him up. You let him say his spiel.
Ha! Gorka
Counteract.
Media has filed for bankruptcy earlier today. Apparently,
Gawker.
IGN has brought Kotaku.
Wait.
So Kotaku will still be a pile of shit, but Gorka Media has filed for bankruptcy.
Wait, what website are you seeing this from? Just make sure it's not a fake.
Operation Rainfall.
I don't know what that is. We have to make sure it's not a fake,
Yeah, because people like doing that, get people's hopes up.
Wouldn't surprise me what with the
Well, you do some research on that while we.
hold on. Gorka bankruptcy. BBC Online. Gorka files for bankruptcy after losing $140 million case.
All right. Well, justice in the world.
Yeah, it's on all of them. The Daily Beast, Reuters, WSJ, BBC, Vox, the Guardian. So I'm
Okay.
thinking this is legit.
Okay. Well, it's either legit or someone just played the ultimate fucking prank. All right. Well, there is some justice in the world. Now I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
We are talking about colleges.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're a Nazi, I like, God, the one thing you don't do on Unpopular Metal Opinion, I'll just use this because it's mostly, young kids. Tell them you like NSBM.
Oh, God.
Tell them that a lot of your favorite black metal bands are NSBM bands. Oh my God, the shit I got is amazing. But yeah, I'm not for. I mean, I'm always for counteracting things if you think someone said something moronic or annoying, but I'm not for disciplinary. I mean, I guess it's all.
Yeah, if they're fucking wearing the fucking Iron Eagle with the fucking swastika, you get to them and say what the hell drew them to that fucking thing. Eventually bring it up in conversation, and you start arguing points. But if there is no brain there, then you just move on, considering it's a cretin.
I mean, I'm not saying you should not do something somebody's constantly interrupting you with Heil Hitler all the time.
Yeah, they need to
he's here.
slap the face.
Hello, Mr. Black Metal Rebellion.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap up this article, then we're gonna fucking talk about metal.
Sweet.
So just hold on there. We'll get done with this bullshit. Anyways, consider a few recent cases. Brown University, Johns Hopkins University, Williams College, and Harvard College, among other schools, withdrew speaking invitations, including those for commencement addresses, because students objected to the views or political ideology of the invited speaker.
Remember when the KKK was able to speak at college campuses? And yes, people threw things at them, as they probably should, because the KKK are beyond stupid. But remember when the KKK was actually allowed to say their spiel at college campuses, and then after that you had people say why they're morons.
Yeah, and people would point and laugh, and no one took them seriously. But now that people are taking them seriously, guess whose numbers are swelling? The fucking morons.
I just don't know how you can take the KKK seriously. That's my opinion, but
Yeah, but apparently, oh my God, naughty words.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Brandeis University began to monitor the class of a professor who had explained that Mexican immigrants to the United States are sometimes called wetbacks. Yeah, we know that that's a derogatory term, but at the same time, it's also true that some people will call them wetbacks. So if you're teaching this in a history course,
or any sort of course about sociology or political or anything like that, or something like that, it's more than justified. I mean, if you're teaching a math class, I don't think
that's probably not going to be good.
No.
And the whole thing was about a comment about the history of a derogatory term that outraged people. Yay.
People don't want to know about things that happen.
Or how old people used to think.
Or still think.
Yeah.
Some of them, but people just don't. They would rather hide their heads in the sand. That is very loud. Stop doing that.
Hey, what?
You keep moving around and your microphone just statics up.
See, look, I'm moving around. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, but why can't you just...
Whatever the hell happened, there was a bunch of static.
Yeah, anyway, moving on.
Anyways, black students at Princeton University protested against the racial climate on campus and demanded that Woodrow Wilson's name be removed from its School of Public and International Affairs.
Well, to be fair, I don't think I would consider Woodrow Wilson a role model for international affairs. He kind of botched a lot of things.
Yeah, but still. The chilling effect of these kinds of restrictions on speech were not lost in 1947 on Robert Hutchins, the president of the University of Chicago, who opined during the McCarthy period, "The question is not how many professors have been fired for their beliefs, but how many think they might be."
This is true. I'd like that quote embossed on a fucking marble thing.
Born in the mid-1990s, seniors in my Columbia University undergraduate seminars today likely have not experienced major national threats, except for their vague memories of the 9/11 attacks.
Vague memories. I can remember like it was fucking yesterday.
I remember getting the call from Jeff saying, "Turn on the news." I know, Jeff, we were attacked. We had planes hitting buildings. No, turn on, watch. See, they're jumping out of the windows. Yes.
I literally remember it like it was yesterday. I didn't know anything about it until Dad came home and he was watching the news and they were talking. I was like, what happened? They're like, America got attacked. And I was like, wait, what? I can remember exactly what happened like it was yesterday, so vague memories, my ass. And The one thing I don't think they ever counseled us in school like you hear about sometimes. I think they just figured we were too young to understand. And of course, I didn't really understand what happened until I was about 12 when, looking back at it when I was just like, shit. But yeah, I have very, very good memories of that. Well, not good, but you know what I mean, very.
Yeah.
So is no one sporting the it's an inside job theory?
I think it was an inside job that goats did it.
No, but I mean, like, isn't anyone like going with the theory that it's an inside job because of trying to get funding for war against Iraq?
No, I've read thorough debunkings of that were actually very, even got some truthers back onto the fucking, reality.
Yet these millennials might better be labeled children of war and fear.
Nobody remembers the Iraq War, huh? I mean, yeah, it didn't happen in America, but still, American soldiers were, and I remember the climate of fear from around 2001 to about 2003 or so that like we could be attacked any day.
Mm-hmm. And enjoy your anthrax with breakfast.
Oh, anthrax, yeah, that was great.
Mm-hmm. During their politically conscious lifetime, they have known only a United States immersed in protracted wars against real and so-called terrorists, a place where fear itself influences their attitudes towards other civil liberties.
See, I was never afraid. I always came to the conclusion that if there was a fucking terrorist attack outside my window, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, I could run, but there's nothing I can do about it. I can't stop it happening. There is nothing I can do about it. So, whatever. I mean, I was never in, and of course, I'm big on civil liberties, obviously.
Fuck. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. So I'll die with my boots on.
Yeah, except for you're probably wearing fucking tennis shoes.
Actually, I'm mostly naked. I got shorts
I don't want to know that.
Students are asked to pit freedom of expression or privacy against personal security. Fuck your personal security.
Fuck your personal security. Freedom of expression.
Fuck your safe space.
Mm-hmm. I defecate on it. During times when elected...
It's not safe anymore, especially when I had the fucking nacho burritos.
Uh-huh. During times when elected officials have exploited the public's fear of terrorism for political gain, students seem more willing to trade civil liberties for a sense of security.
False sense of security. George Carlin did a great bit about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about making white people feel safe.
Since the 9/11 tragedy, the use of fear is still pervasive in the United States. The distortion of fear pervades today's students' thinking. They tend to overestimate the probability of a terrorist attack affecting
Oh my god, yes. And just, oh my fucking god. Sorry, I'm getting flashbacks to annoying conversations in high school. Do you think we're going to be attacked? No. Why not? Because I've heard these things. See, that's why I kind of got out of politics for a while, because, the whole Trump thing and the whole, if Trump's elected, there's going to be ovens and things like that. And, I've heard stuff like this so many times before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Meanwhile, whenever 9/11 was going on, my first thought was they were going to call for a state of fucking martial law.
Which actually wasn't that overreacting, to be honest, because it looked like it.
Fucking attacked, so.
Yeah.
I was actually amazed we didn't. But, I prepared for that. That was actually a lot more realistic than, oh my god, they're going to blow up everything again.
I'm pretty amazed they didn't either, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When this fear is combined with the rapid expansion of social media and the prevalence of government surveillance, Students often dismiss concepts like privacy as old-fashioned values that are irrelevant to them.
Oh, I mean, I view privacy as essentially dead, except for when you get off your computer. But the whole thing on social media is things spread like wildfire. I could if I post in the right groups, we're going to be attacked in 5 days, and if I made it sound official enough, I could create a mass panic. Me.
Uh-huh. Same thing here. I could fucking cause a mass panic over just about anything.
Cause a mass panic over this show.
And you have to fucking sit there and say that my soul's been saved because I'm the most virtuous, thus all the virtue signaling of everything.
All hail virtue signaling.
And the worst part is a lot of this virtue signaling is coming from atheists who don't believe in eternal salvation. So why are you virtue signaling if that's not the case?
Because they believe in making the world a better place, apparently. Or their illusion of making the world a better place.
Fuck. My experience at Columbia suggests that many students believe that the very idea of privacy is obsolete. Most of my students don't seem to mind this loss when it's weighed against uncovering potential terrorists.
Yeah, because we may uncover terrorist sleeper cells that we haven't uncovered yet. It's not going to happen, people.
God will know whenever they blow something up. That's the way it's always worked.
Yeah, that's the way it will always work.
Otherwise, you're just prosecuting for hate.
Okay.
Okay, what happened? Oh, well. Nothing, okay. Add to this apprehension the fears that so many students of color experience before college. A rational fear of the police, of racial stereotypes, of continual exposure to epithets of prejudice, and no wonder that they seek safe havens. They may have expected to find this safe haven in college, but instead they find prejudice, stereotyping slurs, and phobic statements on the campuses as well, which you find that everywhere in society, real or imagined. Additionally, many of these students employ the classification of the insider, believing that outsiders cannot possibly understand the situation that faces these groups of offended individuals. By virtue of race, gender, ethnicity, or some other category, the students often dismiss the views of their professors and administrators who can't get it because they are not part of the oppressed group. This is all typical teenager shit. You're not hip enough to know what the fuck's going on. God, how many centuries has we done this? And he has left. We do not know what happened to the Elliot. Fuck.
Unless his internet cut out.
It might have.
Which means this hangout will end in 5 seconds.
Or some bullshit.
Well, it'll be like, I think it's like 15 minutes or something like that, or 7 minutes. Is that him back in?
He came
That's him back in.
Yay. He is back in, he's just muted.
Sorry, I have no idea what the fuck happened. My internet sometimes goes out for like 2 minutes. I don't understand it and I don't like it.
The world became a scary place for a few moments there, didn't it?
No, it just needed. I had to switch networks.
Well, welcome
But
back.
anyway, so what I was saying, so about, like I said, about, things spread like wild. Anyway, continue with the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, we were just talking about how the kids think that everything has to be hip and cool in order for you to get it. But then, old people can never get it because they can never be hip and cool.
Well, I can never be hip and cool, and I'm 22 years old. Then again, I've been around people older than my own age all my life. So you could say I've always kind of been,
Good.
yeah.
And defecated on people's lawns.
Yes, I done that once, actually.
Many of the young adults at highly selective universities and colleges have been forced to follow a straight and narrow path, never deviating from it because of a passion unrelated to schoolwork, and have not been allowed, therefore, to live what many would consider a normal childhood. To play, to learn by doing, to challenge their parents, to make mistakes.
See, I always got punished for challenging my parents, so I decided I needed to be better at challenging them. Yeah, I kind of rebelled against that, and of course, regardless of whether I went to college or not, I would have done this or something similar to this anyway. Which, yes, you may dismiss as sad and pathetic, but this has been my dream for,
Yeah.
as long as I can remember.
Meanwhile, I remember I played. I fucking fell out of fucking trees and shit. That was
Yeah, but
good.
you came from a good generation.
Mm-hmm. I challenged my teachers, too.
Oh, God. I'm pretty sure I drove a couple teachers to nervous breakdowns.
Oh, fuck. I was supposed to be in fucking learning disabled English because I came from a fucking mental institution and partial program back in the regular school. Meanwhile, I was doing fucking college prep fucking literature work in that class, and I could not take any homework home. I had to do it all in class. And then any free time I had to tutor other kids in classes I hadn't even taken yet for the first 2 years. And then the last year, my senior year, it was I pretty much took American political behavior 4 times before I actually took it. So I got away with sleeping in a class where the guy never let anyone sleep. Of course, it didn't help matters that he asked me a question one day, and I forget what the fuck I answered him, but I remember he had to sit there and look up the answer and said, okay, you're allowed to sleep in my class.
Do you see 2 of me in this thing?
No, there is only 1.
Okay, because it's showing him in twice.
Oh, well. I do not see that. I only see 1, so whatever.
Weird. Okay, I'll fix it when we get off here.
1 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
Exactly.
Shut up.
Their families and their network of friends and social peers have placed extreme pressure on them to achieve or win in a zero-sum game with their own friends.
And there you go. That's why I never cared, because I never had fucking friends until I was in 9th grade. I mean, I had like 1 friend in elementary school, but until it was like 9th or 10th grade, I had 0 friends. Made it all the way through middle school with 0 friends.
My friends from grade school are dead. The friends I made in high school are still alive, and so are the ones I made after. Well, most of them.
I don't know. I think one might have sold out and abandoned punk and metal. So now claims that punk and metal is for children.
Yeah, go kill people.
Yes.
Well, it's difficult to assess the cases, and while a myriad of factors likely contribute to the poor mental health among college students, in 2015, roughly 18% of undergraduates reported being diagnosed or treated for anxiety in the past year.
Yay, anxiety. Something I honestly wish I had, because it's better than what I have now, which is the complete opposite of anxiety. Actually, I guess it's not better. It would, at least anxiety would mean I cared about something.
So
The rate was...
What's that?
I said, so you've got misanthropy?
Yes. Big time. I mean, I think I've told you this story. I once, while Jim was talking, just had a vision of me strangling the life out of him.
Yep.
It wasn't
no
like he
reason.
said anything I didn't like or anything. It was just like, this would be a perfect time for him to die.
I think most people who have been on the internet tend to get misanthropy, especially if you deal with people on social media.
Yep. Kill
Yeah,
all
well,
humans.
Bender B. Rodriguez should be the next president.
The rate was 15% for depression. Many are taking antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication upon entry into college.
Oh God, antidepressants were horrible for me, and they pretty much made me feel the bad kind of depression rather than the good kind of depression, which I can channel into misanthropy.
Yay. But there is a different, though equally important reason many students today are willing to suppress free expression on campus. And the fault largely lies at the feet of many of the country's academic leaders. Students and their families have been increasingly treated as customers.
Yeah, my customer is always right, except when they're fucking not. I've totally abandoned that philosophy whenever I go into a store. I mean, I'm always right, but
Oh, I tell you what, right? A lot of this trying to suppress dissenting opinions. This comes from, and I've been talking about this with a few people recently. This comes from this idea that, you know, the bullying hysteria of the sort of like the 90s, yeah? When everybody was trying to get rid of bullying, yeah? And they all came up with these absolutely ridiculous fucking, like, rap songs with celebrities and stuff, yeah?
it had a bit of a renaissance in about 2009.
Well, I mean, even before that, it's like there was huge move in like the late 90s to tackle the bullying, and that's where this idea of sort of zero tolerance of bullying came in. And so we had like a whole generation who, throughout their formative years, and then, you know, the ones who followed them, have all grown up with this idea of, you know, zero tolerance to bullying, and that you can literally shut anybody up by calling them some sort of bad word, and if you make them the bad thing, then nothing they say can be right, and it's gone on from there. So it's like, oh, you can't criticize my religion because that's bullying me, that's intimidating me. I don't.
Worse.
It's when feels started to come before reals. Now, obviously, bullying is a bad thing, but you know, it's poor solutions to things, and all we've done is we've raised a bunch of kids to feel that they're so entitled to some sort of safety. They're so entitled to some sort of happiness. It's not the pursuit of happiness anymore. It's the entitlement to happiness.
Bullying was a bad thing. I thank my bullies for making me who I am.
Well, yeah, but bullying
has
a use in society.
Wait, Chaz, let someone else speak.
Sorry, I was just responding to your response.
Yeah. I will say this. There was a point in my time where I would sit there and cry, oh, boo-hoo, I was bullied, and gain sympathy for it. Ironically, this is when I was married, trying to fucking, you know, belong in society. You know, whenever I fucking rejected things before and after that, though. And especially now, I sit there and I'm pretty much on the same boat as Elliot. Yeah, fucking getting the baseball bat to my head in front of my fucking high school principal, who didn't lift a finger to do anything to stop it because he was hoping I would lift a finger to defend myself so he could expel me. Oh, well, my dreams of fucking going to college were fucking going through my head, you know. And fucking the beatdowns, getting spit on, getting pissed on, and literally urinated on.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know, all this shit made me question authority. It made me question who I am. It made me stronger. It made me realize, you know, there's so much shit which is arbitrary in this fucking world. So fuck it. Let's go after the things that are real and actually applicable.
I'm not saying bullying is right, because a lot of bullying does go way too far and can lead to some very bad things down the road. You know, I've seen some accidents. So I'm not saying, you know, but I'm saying for me personally, it actually had something of a positive effect on me. Plus,
do you know what?
Plus, shit, they were the only people not treating me with sympathy. And I hated, as Jim knows, I hated the sympathy people.
Yeah, I think that's one of the problems. incentivization through sympathy. I was talking to you about this one of the first times that you and I talked, and we were talking about, people with disabilities. They get sometimes so much sympathy that it does create a very sort of narcissistic and entitled mindset in them.
Yes.
That they come to expect that sympathy always.
Yeah.
And when life doesn't give them everything just handed to them,
Yeah.
they don't know what to do.
And I thank whatever deity exists, or if not deity, then whatever force exists, that I rejected that a long, long time ago.
But like you were saying about how bullying made you question things about yourself,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny that with this whole zero tolerance bullying thing, that what we've actually got is we've got a situation where people can cry bully, and then we've also got a situation whereby any criticism of an individual is thrown out as bullying and harassment. And we see it today with these feminists. Like you make a video where you go, no, Anita, you're wrong about this. Your whole entire premise is flawed, and your characterizations and assertions are piss poor. That then becomes, harassment.
Or you're
You're harassing me with an opinion I don't like. You're harassing me with reality. Stop it. I want to live in my fucking narcissistic fun bubble.
The fun bubble's where I like to go. Yeah, but like I said, I think it's just I mean, I wasn't made for this generation. I know that, but I don't know. I mean, for me, like I said, I think it was just some people were trying to be sympathy and play the nice guy. That the only people who didn't want to play the nice guy were Nazi skinheads wanting to bash my head in.
Yeah, so no matter what, you were fucked.
It just hit you how fucked I was.
Yeah.
It was just the utter hopelessness just hit him.
That's beautiful. I remember me being fucked too, but I was fucked for different reasons.
Yes, we've all been fucked.
Because the people who did nothing to me ended up being shallow, vapid people with no fucking soul of their own, no fucking mind of their own, just follow their herd.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the rats just beat the living shit out of me, so, take your pick.
Yeah, true. Anyway.
Presidents of colleges and universities have been too reluctant to offend their customers, which may help explain why they have often yielded to wrong-headed demands by students.
Yeah. As soon as you treat it like a business, you're gonna get. Or I think not just college students. I think everyone should be offended by things that they maybe disagree with, or I think people should always have to be, new ideas and shit like that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I see their logic in it. College prices, are so high, and they have to take out loans and shit that they don't want to be offended and made to feel uncomfortable. They want, we're investing in this. Well, they're investing in this. There must be customers. I see their logic in it, but I think that. Sorry, I think I had the hiccups. God damn it. I think that just brings to light the faults of our educational system.
Do you know what I'd say is another fault in the educational system? I mean, typically in America, I've actually seen sort of like, and I can see why you have such a problem in America with some of the social justice people. You teach history in America with such a political slant to it. Like, I saw somebody who was doing American history at school in America, and essentially you could summarize the course, as the white man is bad for all of these reasons.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Actually, that's the thing that actually really opened my eyes to what we did, or what not we wasn't, but what the early Americans did was when I was getting into elementary school, it was George Washington was basically a god, and Abraham Lincoln was a god, and Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin. And then when he got into middle school, it's like, oh, by the way, here's what we did to the Indians. I'm just, it wasn't as bad as it's gotten now, but actually, that was one of the things that really opened my eyes up to, oh, wow, maybe if I can,
It's a difference between saying these are things that happened that were complete bullshit, and then you must repent because you are the reason this happened before you were even born.
Yeah.
Yes, I killed the Indians.
Yeah, and this sort of like then the white man sort of owes everyone some sort of level of at least guilt, and if not reparation.
Hey, I come from
these
California.
Historical transgressions.
Well, actually, we did kind of kill the Indians. Actually, mostly
Well,
the Spanish.
You know what killed most of the Indians?
No. I was gonna say it's mostly the Spanish that did it before we did it, because I come from California. So I don't.
The Spanish killed 90% of the Indians by giving them smallpox.
I don't owe you shit because I come from California. All right, if you want to talk to someone, talk to people in Spain.
Yay.
Anyway, moving on.
Courage at universities is unfortunately a rare commodity, and it's particularly rare among the leaders of institutions pressured by students to act in a politically correct way. It seems a vast majority of presidents and provosts at the finest U.S. universities have not seized this moment of concern voiced by students as a teaching moment, a moment to instruct and discuss with students what college is about. Too many.
Like I said, I see their logic in we're charging up the ass and things like that. I mean, I see their logic in it. Unfortunately, it doesn't really do anyone any good, because now we're going to get a bunch of babies out into the workforce. I mean, I want to see this generation 10 years from now. I really hope they build that Mars base. If they build that Mars base, Jim, you and I are going.
Oh, hell yeah. And I will take over. It will become Jimland.
Don't get stuck up there like the Martian.
Yes, but I know how to grow things out of my own shit as well.
Oh, yeah. I saw that movie.
That was a good movie.
I actually did enjoy it. And I don't really enjoy movies.
My only complaint was, why the hell didn't they tell the fucking mission that the guy was alive earlier, so that way they could have just turned around, got him, and come back? Of course, then again, that would have meant, like, no real drama. Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
I kind of predicted the ending. I mean, my mother said
Everyone predicted the ending.
Well, I mean, no, I was going to say my mother said she liked it, and she doesn't like anything with the sad ending, so I kind of knew he was going to be. But hey, it was actually. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was, I could sit through it without wanting to, drive railroad spikes to my face. So yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to science the shit out of this.
Exactly.
We're broadcasting this shit out of this right now.
Too many academic leaders are obsessed with the security of their own jobs and their desire to protect the reputation of their institution, and too few are sufficiently interested in making statements to students that may offend them, or that show them why they are at colleges, and why freedom of expression is a core and enabling value of any higher learning institution that considers itself of the first rank.
Yes. If we actually get, decent at this, which will never happen, but we should, volunteer to speak at universities.
Yay.
We should do fucking, college tours. Hi, I'm Ellie, and I'm Jim, and this is why you are worthless.
Exactly. And we have the bullet points here. 1, you are breathing the amoeba's air.
Yes.
Of course, these are strong academic leaders who do. There are strong academic leaders who do encourage open discussion of issues raised by students, while also speaking out against restrictions on campus speech, against speech codes, safe space psychology, and microaggressions, but they are too few and far between.
Here's a safe space. Nuclear bomb.
Hmm. A physically safe environment is absolutely necessary condition for heated debate over ideas.
Oh, yeah, you don't want people, like, drawing on fucking guns or knives or swords or some shit. Although that'd be more fun. You know, yeah? You disagree with me? Disagree now, bitch.
Okay, since we got someone from the country in question here, I gotta say this, because I was taught this in university, I want to know if it's true. Is there a line in British Parliament which they are not supposed to cross on the opposite ends because it's supposed to be like a sword's length and you couldn't, like, hack people's heads off?
Not that I've ever heard of. That might have been a case in early Parliament, but modern day Parliament, there's a huge desk in the middle of the floor, and then there's sort of seating either side. There is a big gap. You'd approach a bench.
And the other thing is, are votes still tallied by who has the best booze?
Votes still tallied by who has the best booze.
Yes, or is that an old wives' tale I heard? Because there was a yes door and a nay door, a yay and a nay door, and, like, they would try to entice people with different kinds of booze behind each door.
There were a lot of sort of corruption issues. There is actually just a bar in the Houses of Parliament which is stocked up with some of the finest champagne. And that's always been the case because the Parliament's always just taken money from the Treasury to get whatever it fucking wants.
Okay.
No, Jim, it's not who has the best booze, just now who has the most money.
Yeah. Anyways, I just had to ask because these were things I was taught in college.
I love the sword idea. I just love that
That'd be
idea.
fun. Just walk right up there, waving a sword around right at the line.
It's actually illegal.
Hack off your innards.
It's actually illegal to it's actually illegal to die in the Houses of Parliament. It's actually against the law. And the last British Prime Minister to be assassinated was actually assassinated in the Houses of Parliament, or I think he was assassinated outside and sort of death stumbled and died inside the Houses of Parliament. So technically he committed a crime with his assassination.
Well, I mean, suicide's illegal over here, apparently.
But this is like someone being killed, and they committed a crime by being the victim of assassination. This is
Yeah,
great.
but yeah, I always thought death-related crimes like that, where you're dead, I never thought they should be a crime. I mean, suicide's bullshit anyway, but I just love the fact that you're tried for you dying. How do you plead? Oh, say something. Say something. He's not saying, he's lying all still.
The university cannot tolerate violations of personal space, physical threats, sustained public interruptions of speakers, or verbal epithets directed towards specific students.
I can't tolerate sustained interruptions of speakers because I've always said, let the person speak, then shoot your mouth off. I only interrupt someone if they take 15 minutes to say something because we're on a show here.
Yeah. That lies beyond the boundaries of academic freedom. That doesn't mean, however, that a college or university should introduce policies that will curtail or chill debate, that adhere to the politically correct beliefs of the moment. And that's key phrase there, of the moment, because this always changes.
Yep.
Or that let their leaders off the hook through capitulation to demands that stifle discourse and conversations about what a university education aims to produce.
Yep, it's all shit. We should all just bury our heads in the sand and let the bulldozers come.
Yeah.
trapped in a trench till the bulldozers came.
Now then, on to some metal news here. First off,
Heavy metal news. Sorry, I had to do a little intro.
yeah, heavy metal news. Let's get this going here because this thing was fucking up on me.
Oh fuck! Someone just turned off the air, and now my room's just jumped up to like 500 degrees.
Kill them,
Yeah,
for they have deserved it.
yeah.
hmm So last year at the Rock AM Ring concert,
Which, by the way, is held either at or on the Nürburgring, which is a very famous German racetrack. Sorry, didn't mean to.
33 were hospitalized after a lightning strike that happened right after Marilyn Manson's set.
Ah!
Neither God or Satan said Marilyn Manson sucks and his fans deserve to be punished.
Yes, I've already told you I saw Slayer and was so incensed that Marilyn Manson was playing after Slayer that I left.
And now, this year, in 2016, same festival, the Rock AM Ring Festival, 70 people are injured.
Yeah, I saw that, and I didn't make the connection until you posted from your memory, and I was like, oh, I know where this is.
The annual Rock AM Festival, held in Mendig, Germany, has been plagued by lightning for the second consecutive year.
Plagued by Lightning should be some sort of metal band.
Yeah. On Friday, June 3rd, thunderstorms entered the area and lightning struck around 8 p.m., injuring over 70 people. Who was on stage, or about to take the stage, or just left? That's what I want to know.
Yes.
A severe thunderstorm with lightning strikes has caused multiple injuries at the festival. Police, firefighters, and the Red Cross responded and were able to reach those affected quickly. Read a statement released by festival organizers. As reports continue to come in, the numbers have risen, with the injury toll now listed at 71, with 15 hospitalized due to serious injuries. Torrential rain battered the festival, where rock and metal acts Volbeat, Disturbed.
Okay. No, I hate Volbeat, and I hate Disturbed. I saw Disturbed a lot.
Tenacious D,
No.
Breaking Benjamin,
God, no.
Aman Amarth,
Yep.
Pussifer,
No.
Shinedown,
God, no.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Black Sabbath.
And no, because the latest album sucks, and I've seen them live, or seen recordings of them live today, and you know how when you see a dog or a cat and you're just like, someone euthanized them. I was listening to a Black Sabbath recording from February of 2016. I was just thinking, someone euthanized the band. They're clearly saying they want to die.
Yeah, but they want to do the hardcore thing and die on stage.
Apparently, they're going to end their career February of next year.
Choice.
Yeah, they should be euthanized.
And more were set to perform. So apparently this lightning strike was because there were a shit ton of suck-ass bands. It was like 2 or 3 that were cool.
Yeah, I mean, Amon Amarth is basically, I consider it my favorite more mainstream metal band. I mean, I'd say, if you ask me what I'm looking for in a sort of mainstream metal band, it's either going to be Behemoth or Amon Amarth. Or Cannibal Corpse, if you consider Cannibal Corpse mainstream. Which I guess they are, kind of.
The
But
most mainstream death metal band out there.
no, that would be actually Morbid Angels outsold them.
Yeah, so we pretty much got it here. Satan does not like these suck-ass bands, so they must be punished.
Yes. And get Amon Amarth's new album if you like what they do, because it's basically the same. But it's very good. It's an interesting little story. concept album. Yes, that was interesting. So what else is new in heavy metal? Other than, the new Rage album came out today. It's an album of German power metal, speed metal. It's their 21st album. I think it's the 21st. It's very good.
Okay, so we have This Is Why Wax Idols and King Woman dropped off their tour with Pentagram.
Right. Now I'm just gonna say I will withhold I will withhold judgment of these bands until further notice, and you'll see why. Because no story I've read on this is objective.
Last week, Bay Area bands Wax Idols and King Woman announced via social media that due to an overload of bullshit and being treated really poorly and harassed in gross ways, they'd be cutting an 11-date tour with classic doom metalers Pentagram, nixing their open slots in Santa Ana, San Francisco, and San Jose before heading out on their own national co-headline tour. Though the two front women, Heather Fortune and Christina something or other, of Wax Idols and King Woman respectively, were decidedly vague about the details, they concluded the announcement with, "Never let anyone fuck with you and yours." And finally, "If you knew the shit we were dealing with, you would pay money for us not to play with them."
Well, tell us the shit that you were dealing with then.
Since the announcement, many friends expressed not only their support, but a general assumption of what happened based on Pentagram's reputation, or more specifically that of frontman Bobby Leidbling, whose decades of drug abuse and various other clandestine behaviors one would expect from a hard rock and roll lifestyle have been chronicled in the now infamous documentary Last Days Here.
Like I said, I don't know what happened. It could have been he just tried to hit on him. It could have been something a lot worse. I don't know. Personally, I've heard he's an asshole, so.
Yeah.
From people who've toured with him. I mean, great band. I'm not knocking Pentagram. If you ever want some classic doom metal, well, you already know to go there. But
lead singer syndrome.
What?
He's got lead singer syndrome.
Not all lead singers are assholes. Just like 99% of them.
Yeah. Noisy reached out to Pentagram for comment and were sent a statement by the band's manager, which stressed the band's surprise at their tour mate's departure. The entire statement can be found at the bottom of this post.
And I mean, it works out for the two bands because now they're going to be on a co-headlining tour rather than a supporting tour, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Pentagram could find some other band to open for them. I mean, I read the Death Metal Underground thing, and I like the site for reviews, but no, Death Metal Underground, come on, don't be so objective. Tell us what you think. Give us.
I'm not even reading that one. I'm reading the original.
No, I know. I was just I had to. I was gonna poke fun at the way it's written.
Yeah, well, I was gonna get there next.
Oh, fuck you.
We've been professionally performing and recording music for close to 50 years, and this is one of the most unfounded and grossly opportunistic situations we've encountered. These bands didn't communicate to Pentagram or the tour manager about wanting to leave the tour. A few nights into the tour, they simply disappeared, posted negatively about us on social media, and then headed over to the show that was previously set up for them that very night. Okay.
Yeah, it's opportunistic, but come on. This band has never done anything that's opportunistic.
I want to know if they've been part of any other scandals. If this is their meat wagon pretending to, or doing anything, or I just want to see if there's more of this boo-hoo pity me shit, and then fucking going out and doing this shit. just to raise their own fucking what's it called, fame or whatever.
I have no idea because I wasn't there.
Even from a fan perspective, the tour seemed chaotic. Bobby was a no-show at the Seattle tour date, causing the band to play without him. The next night at Dante's in Portland, all of the band's sets were pushed back during Wax Idol's set. The sound person came on stage, imploring them to play 2 more songs, presumably to buy time.
Oh yeah, Pentagram are fucking like 90 years old now.
Yeah. The story was that Bobby was actually on a plane to get to the venue during the show, and admittedly the crowd was pleasantly surprised when Pentagram finally took stage, a disheveled spandex-clad Bobby in tow, nearly 2 hours late.
That's some great planning right there, guys. That's some awesome planning.
This reminds me of fucking people pretending to be me at my own parties.
No, this reminds me of when we used to play in like backyard shows, and it was we always had to wait for a band member, and it was always, what the fuck? So we used to have to like, well, we'll be on stage. Could the next band just play? Oh, here he comes. Never mind. We'll come on now. It was just, it was chaotic. Except for, we weren't a professional band. These people are professional. So, but yeah, oh god, good times.
The announcement about Wax Idol's and King Woman's decision to drop off the tour came just a week later, and whispers began to circle regarding sexual harassment and generally despicable behavior from old rock and roll dudes who may or may not be accustomed to behavioral consequences.
I mean, personally, if I was there, I'd be annoyed about getting hit on by 75-year-old men or however old they are.
Hey. Before now, Heather Fortune and Christina have not come forward to publicly disclose more information, though they are content to leave the sparse details as is on social media. When we reached out to them, they agreed to share their own story exclusively with Noisy.
We'll get to that if they post it.
They have the whole thing, and I'm not going to read it.
But what does it boil down to?
I am... it's just how are your feelings about things now, okay? Positive thing is saying how supportive our fans are. Yeah, they've been all so awesome.
Well, I mean, I think they're indie rock, so I don't think the tour would actually work. So, yeah, whatever works out for them, and Pentagram can tour on their legacy. I mean, they have like a couple really good albums, so it works out for both of them.
Okay. Here we go. Bobby offended someone from one of the opening bands. He said something to the effect of, I approve of you being on the tour because I want options. This is the statement from the manager.
Oh my god.
Pentagram as a band sincerely apologized for Bobby's comment. Bobby verbally hit on this girl, and that's as far as it got. It's no secret that he's been attracted to women, and that's not a crime. He's a single man. He may have been uncouth, but there was no touching. We tried to be nice, but these openers gave us no real chance to interact, avoided us at all costs, and made us feel uncomfortable on our own tour.
Bobby, you're 62. You're not gonna...
Catch Wax Idols and King Woman on the rest of their Noisy-sponsored U.S. tour.
Well, you know,
Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, Chapel Hill, bloody, bloody, blah, more in California. Okay. So we read that part of it. Let's read The Vice-backed indie bands drop out of Pentagram tour as publicity stunt. Yay.
Now, come on. You don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel.
Two indie female-fronted bands, Wax Idols and King Woman, have dropped off pseudo-metal psychedelic rock band Pentagram's ongoing tour, breaking their separate agreements with promoters.
Oh no, breaking their separate agreements. How evil.
Yeah. The women in both bands were surprised when ex-junkie Pentagram frontman Bobby Liedbling hit on them. The news of this passive-aggressive move being broken by Vice, both indie bands being backed by Vice and subsequently embarking on a Vice-funded tour, reeks of self-aggrandizing and professionalism.
I think you'll find it's Noisy, not Vice, but there you go.
Noisy is backed by Vice, but anyway.
Whatever. I'm just saying it's.
Or was that the article? I don't know.
No. What I'm saying is they were backed by Noisy, not Vice.
Yay.
So you don't even get that right.
I don't care.
No, I mean not you, them.
Okay. According to the hipster indie bands, Liedbling was supposedly booked the two bands on tour, not only to attract his newfound hipster audience gained through the Last Days Here documentary, but so that he could have a lot of options with women. That's great.
From what I know about him, it's great. Yeah. From what I know about him, he kind of reminds me. He's your typical 80s, 70s, 80s rock star. Basically, I got into hardcore punk to avoid those people.
Both groups knew beforehand how Bobby would behave after watching the documentary, which revealed that he had spent decades smoking crack in his parents' basement in suburban Maryland, and ended with him marrying a 23-year-old hipster groupie despite looking like the villain from Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade after drinking the False Grail.
Have you seen a picture of him?
I like the picture here. It's from the movie. Apparently it's accurate enough.
I believe they got divorced.
Given that the Pentagram tour is over, the entire affair seems to be a Vice publicity stunt to promote two musically improficient gimmick groups, Vice financially backed, among white-knighting social media justice warriors. Yay.
See, like I said, my problem with this website is they should stop calling themselves a news site and just call themselves an editorial site. I mean, I've had arguments with Corey about this that even my Swedish friend was like, yeah, it's pretty shit. I mean, I've always liked, yes, put the facts first, then in a little sidebar you can do your little editorial thing.
Pentagram's mediocre stoner rock band pretending to be heavy metal should not be commented on at all due to this incident. Instead, listen to Pentagram.
Just did comment on it, you fucking moron. Mediocre stoner rock called heavy metal. They formed in 1971 before metal was even a thing. You ignorant, brain dead son of just die. Oh. God.
Listen to Pentagram from Chile and better drug-fueled 70s rock instead.
You've never even listened to the first... Oh, if I could just take my hands, just wrap around your throat. Just... Oh, you fucking morons. Dude, mediocre. You know what? If Pentagram is mediocre stoner hard rock, then so is Black Sabbath. I'll say that. Fucking morons. Yeah, from 1971. Metal wasn't even a thing in 1971. Get a fucking clue.
Oh boy.
Well, and that's why you should read Death Metal Underground, folks, for thought-provoking journalism such. I don't even know where to fucking be. And I'm friends with some of the writers, and some of them are actually decent, but Jesus fuck.
Well, the one thing it seems they got on the head was the fact that this was all Vice. So
Noisy, not Vice.
whatever.
Didn't even get that right.
Probably, but still, it just reeks of fucking publicity stunt.
Yeah, but you know, that's what music is. I still believe that's just so badly written. I'm sorry, I love it. It's so badly written.
When they get things right, I really like it. Whenever things like this happen, it's still pretty cool.
They get things right every now and then. I mainly read reviews, which I mostly disagree with, but at least they're honest. But what the fuck are you talking about? Oh fuck!
And rallying the troops of people of the easily offended.
And that I think that's the problem I have with Death Metal Underground is it tries to be both a news and social commentary website without having a piece for news and a piece for editorials.
But it's always an interesting read.
Oh, it's interesting, but like I said, there's a time for news and there's a time for editor. Like I don't stop you in the middle of you reading and going, you read a story and I go, stupid, moronic idiots.
Yeah. Anyway, it's time for our cash cow to come in.
What now?
Canada's highest court has just ruled that some sex acts between humans and animals are legal.
What does our Canadian have to say about this?
I had no idea this was a thing. I don't really pay attention to Canadian politics.
But do you have sex with animals?
Fuck no.
He took a long time to answer that, didn't he?
He's trying to hide the gerbil. Anyway.
Gerbil cannon. Fire! Anyways, this is from Breitbart, so just
take this with a grain of salt.
In a Quintoxic ruling, the country's high court ruled that a man who was on trial for raping and sexually exploiting his own daughters wasn't guilty of bestiality. Okay. The man reportedly smeared peanut butter on the genitals of his victims and had the family dog lick it off while he videotaped the act.
What the fuck?
I didn't want to say anything because I was just waiting for the reaction.
I'm just sitting here back through where I was accused of this, but then we followed the rumor back to a guy who actually, fucking did. It was found out he was the one that started the rumor, trying to put it on me so that way they wouldn't focus on him being the one who actually spread the fucking peanut butter on his own balls so his dog could lick it off. And they thought since I had a bad reputation it would follow me, and it didn't because I admit the bad things I do.
They can just go to like a local sex shop and buy, sex toys. They don't have to abuse their animals or, get their children to do these despicable things. Like, come on, just spend $30 and get a fucking,
You read into the psychology of it. It's the fact that it's a societal taboo. Plus, they actually find the animals sexually attractive.
Well, there's inflatable sheep you can get.
I mean, hell, I've seen women take it straight in the fucking cunt from fucking horses.
Yes.
No lube, it just fucking hopped right on her, started going to town like it was Tuesday, so she'd been doing it a lot.
Yes, I've read things I'd rather not read. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
The
I've
internet
read
has
things that are
scarred
gonna
me.
stay with. What's
And
that?
trust. What was
What's that?
that?
Oh, I just said the internet has scarred me.
Yeah, I've read things I'd rather not read. I have images in my head that I'd rather not have.
See, I was scarred before the internet. There was my father's porn collection.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know about that.
Oh God.
So it
I,
was more than just a lot of bush then.
oh God. We're talking. There was one video where the entire point of it was this guy was spanking fucking chicks who had explosive diarrhea. So he would fucking take the diarrhea straight in his mouth and fucking.
Oh,
Yeah, this was one video. Another video I saw of his, there was. What happened was the pony had gotten on the chick and was fucking her from behind, but because it was a small miniature pony, she was able to reach around and pull the horse's cock in front of her so she could suck it off. So it was a menage a trois between a pony, horse, and chick.
And how old were you when you saw this?
Roughly around 17.
old
When I
enough.
saw the fucking horse porn, 2 she-males, 1 midget. I saw it in my early 20, I think
Oh,
20.
but what about when you were a kid? What about when you were a kid and you saw Mother Was Best?
Oh yeah, incest porn, but that wasn't seen. That was read.
Yes, yes, you read Mother. No, he now
Mother
unfortunately
was best, and
yes.
it was a scene where mother fucked son, then father fucked daughter, and then like mom and father got married, and they had fucking group sex, and they all went off to. Then the football team fucked mom and his daughter, while the fucking son and father went out for ice cream. The end.
And you read this when you were how old?
Mm. Roughly around 11, 12.
Yes, his father was a very upstanding gentleman.
Mm. Anyways, the convicted man took his case to the Canadian Supreme Court, demanding that the bestiality charge be nullified. In the end, the court agreed. As a result of the rape case, the court ruled 7-1 that humans having sexual contact with animals is okay as long as there is no penetration involved in the act. So licking and sucking genitals is A-okay either which way. Fuck. Fuck, and I just saw like 2 weeks ago someone chick I was talking to was like, hey, look at this, and it was a picture of a fucking chick taking a giant mouthful of horse cum. Oh, fuck. So that's legal now. God.
And I can almost read Jesse's mind. He's going, "Why am I on this show again?"
Just means more therapy bills.
And death metal lyrics.
Yeah, he likes slam. I forgot.
Not as much as I like black metal, but yeah, I'm down with the slams.
Oh God.
Well, yeah, I used to make a point of posting slam and BDM lyrics in the PTR in the Swine Brothers chat. Even though Jim isn't always crazy about the music, I can always get him with some of these lyrics. My favorite was posting, I believe it was Artery Eruption's Rage-Induced Infant Ass Fuck.
The High Court's lone dissenter said the ruling would mean open season for the sexual exploitation of animals. Acts with animals that have sexual purpose are inherently exploitative, whether or not penetration occurs. Justice Rosalie Abela wrote in her dissent. As of today, Canadian law gives animal abusers license to use animals for their own sexual gratification. This is completely unacceptable and contrary to societal expectations and cannot be allowed to continue.
Word.
The question is a troublesome one here in the U.S. as well, dividing liberals and serving as a watchword to conservatives. Recently, for instance, animal rights activists in Ohio were rallying for the legislature to make it more explicit that sex between humans and animals is forbidden by state law. There must be a lot of it going on.
I wouldn't know. I don't look for those type of things.
You must be traumatized to the point where you either cease caring or go murder someone.
Either way, well, actually, if you murder someone, it could be interesting. Anyway, not that I'm advocating murder. I'm just saying it would be good for the show. As long as you shout Swine Brothers while you're doing it.
In April, animal advocates were seen protesting at the state capitol in Columbus to raise awareness that Ohio has no law outlawing sexual exploitations of animals after a 61-year-old man was arrested for committing sex acts with dogs.
Is this a Guar song?
Fucking an animal.
What's funny was my female friend who sent me this link was singing the song.
What song?
And then I told her, you know what, the guy that I'm doing the show with is also a Guar fan. And she was like, oh, well, that song's going to be stuck in his head now.
Oh, yeah. It seriously, it pops into my head randomly, and I just start humming the tune. They're like, what are you humming? Fucking an animal. What the fuck? Oh, someone's
Ohio is one of only 11 states in the U.S. that doesn't have any bestiality laws on the script. On the books, advocates say.
Necro, bestial, anal, butt sex.
Ooh. Oh, God. Oh,
Why did you read me that? Oh, fuck.
Yes.
So
We
more
had
metal
fucking
news.
end with the legalization of fucking... Yes.
So more in metal news. I just won Horna's first album for $20.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I just got a message from the singer of some random brutal death metal band saying that my show's awesome.
Sweet.
So,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Although bestiality was often subsumed in terms such as sodomy or buggery, penetration was the essence, the defining act of the defense. And since no penetration happened here, therefore, it was okay.
What is buggery?
I'm assuming some form of sex involving penetration.
Alrighty then.
Penetration of the holy rectum.
Fucking right in the pussy.
Yay. So that's it.
When you say that's it, you mean?
That's all I got here.
Oh, you need to tell me when you have the last story because.
Yay, the last story. That was it.
Fuck, what am I doing? Here, I'm gonna try this and. Am I still there? Okay, yeah, I am. Okay, well, I guess that's the end of the show.
Pretty much. I think we have shit on everything.
This has been the Swine Brothers Show, episode 88 for June 10th, 2016. If you'd like to get in contact with me, and I'll pass along any stories, any comments, any questions to other members, the email is Indamood, it's 2 L's, ELL Indamood at gmail.com. Facebook, Swine Brothers. Twitter is SwineBros666. If you don't know how to spell that, you need help. And other links are on the YouTube page for Black Metal Rebellion, who doesn't know Canadian laws, apparently. For Chaz, for my co-host Jim, I have been Elliot Lindemood. Always Elliot Lindemood. We'll see you on Monday, folks. Goodbye.
Bludgeon to death with your own testicles.